Hey everybody, it's Larry Steinhouse, and this is the Larry Steinhouse Show, and we are continuing an awesome, awesome day. I am so honored to be here with my partner, Phil Falcone. And, you know, Phil and I have known each other for, I think, 10 years now? Is that right?
10 difficult years.
I got to tell you something about Phil and I. So it's really funny. So Phil and I jab at each other all the time, and we enjoy it. So all of you people out there who think that we don't like each other, we love it, and we love jabbing at each other. And the only reason I'm bringing that up is we literally had someone the other day goes, "Do you guys like each other?" I'm like, "Of course we like each other. That's why we can jab each other. We just have fun with it, right?" So Phil he's been an entrepreneur for years, an incredible. All right, go ahead and say it.
No, I'm not going to say anything.
He's an incredible house buyer. He wears very specific shirts. There you go. So he wears a shirt that says "I buy houses." I actually thought that when you first started wearing that shirt, I thought you were going to give it up after about a month. But it's been now 4 months now that you've been wearing that shirt?
I got like 10 of them, man, and I'll be buying new ones soon.
I know that's pretty impressive. Because,
this is my uniform.
Right. Why is it that you wear that shirt? Let's tell him right away.
Okay, I wanna prove to myself the greatest percentage earned off of a piece of marketing. So this T-shirt cost me. I bought 10 T-shirts, custom made, for $160, $16 a piece, and the rate of return when somebody is going to sell me a house off of these T-shirts. I've already had multiple conversations with people who are like, "Hey, I've seen that car. I know that store. So it's definitely going to work. I have no question in my mind. It's just a matter of when. And when it works, it's going to be really interesting because I'm going to say, hey, guys, I made $13,000 off of a wholesale deal from a $16 shirt.
That would be that would be really awesome. You know, I never thought about your goal of having the highest return. So one of the things that I did was I got the truck, right? You told me to get a truck, and I put the I Buy Houses on the truck. And sure enough, I would say probably 4 times the price of the truck is what I made in the last 2.5 years. One deal alone, I made $53,000 off a truck that says "I Buy Houses."
Well, that paid for the truck right there.
Yeah, the truck was $42.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, I find that just fascinating that it absolutely positively works. And your car is really cool. And and how many people say to you, "Oh, I wouldn't drive around with a car. It's a BMW Z4 that says "I Buy Houses."
Mostly older guys. I've had several older guys come up to me like in a Home Depot parking lot and go, "What the hell's wrong with you, man? You don't put that on that kind of car." Like I'm disrespecting BMW or something. I don't know. They get all upset about it.
He wants me to wrap my vet. So you imagine me driving around with a Corvette Z06 with "I Buy Houses" on it?
Absolutely. I think you should. By the way, I want to introduce you to my assistant today.
We're going to get there. Sure. There you go.
Hi, everybody. Spencer Goodson.
Go ahead. Tell Spencer. Tell us how you got here. Why you're here today.
I'm here today. I joined with my dad and my mom. We are interested in doing real estate. I'm actually a senior in high school right now. I go for half a day, and then I come either work in the family business, which is fire, water, mold, and smoke restoration, or shadowing Phil or Larry. I'm really interested in real estate. I'm trying to figure out where I want to go with college or just kind of get my feet in the business. So, yeah.
So I'll tell you, Spencer, this is a proud moment for both Phil and I because it's really great to see like a student, an 18-year-old high school student who's hanging around with us because he wants to learn real estate. What were you doing when you were 18 years old, Phil?
I'd rather not say, but let's talk about Spencer for a minute.
And that's the right answer, right? Because both of us are going to be talking about things that we'd rather not say. That's exactly right.
I was thinking about this in the car last night because we were down at Better Than Success. I had a speaking gig down there. We had a good time. They had a great turnout. People were cool. We had a good time. We got a nice video out of it, sold some books, stuff like that. Got a great list. And I'm talking to him about his future, and I'm thinking, he'll be 25 years old in 7 years.
Yeah, and you and I will be dead.
I don't think so, but
no, I don't.
It's one of the point I'm trying to make is one of the most amazing things about him is he's 18 years old. It's crazy.
Yeah, this is what we need to take our 18-year-olds doing now. We got to teach our 18-year-olds how to become this kind of person because he's got no risk whatsoever. if he makes any mistakes at all, he's got so much time to overcome those mistakes. You know, you and I have, Phil, we've made mistakes in the past, and you know, and although we still have lots of time to overcome those mistakes, we could have added another 7 mistakes to it if we did this at 18.
If he was a stock option, I would definitely buy calls.
There you go. I love it. But what a great analogy. I love it, right? So, and the truth is, I actually bought my first house when I was 18 too. So I'm expecting you, Spencer, to buy your first house in the next week or so.
Yeah, that's my New Year's resolution: buy a house before I turn 19.
Why you just one?
As many as I can.
All right. Okay. Well, how many can you buy?
As many as I'd like.
Okay. So here's what the limit is. The limit is how many you believe you can buy.
Okay.
So how many do you believe you can buy?
Before I turn 19 in July, I believe I could buy 3 or 4.
Oh, well, that's okay. Great. So let's make that a goal because I believe you can do it too.
Yeah.
And I also believe that you have a support system with a family, a mother and father who would support you in it.
Oh, yeah.
Which is another tough thing about today's youth is, you know, there's 2 pieces. One is the youth, they don't believe in themselves, and the parents don't believe in them either. So, you know, you've got a good support system. I know Phil supports his son Stone. It's amazing. You know, Stone has an 840 credit score now, or what?
It's higher than mine, which is ridiculous because I'm the one that set the thing up for him.
Right, exactly, right. And you know, and all of us know, you know, we all know how to do this, and we have fun doing it, and it's great. And, you know, so we get guys like Spencer. We teach them how to do this stuff. I love this stuff. It's great. So Phil, tell us what's going on in your life.
Well, you know, we've had an interesting day yesterday. We've been hanging together now on our second day. We went out to that meeting last night. We had a good time there. Sold a bunch of books. Speaking of my books, why don't you, Spencer, hold up my books. First book I wrote is called Addicted to Real Estate. It's a story of the first 20 years of my career in Philadelphia. So for $20, you get a 20-year career. That's only $1 a year, right? Right? And then the other book is a much more advanced book that teaches you creative financing strategies like subject to seller financing, using trust, raising private money, and all the amazing strategies that you need to learn in this world if you want to buy properties with none of your own money. And who wouldn't want to do that?
So I read your book now and then. I go back and read it. I actually just read it again probably about 2 weeks ago. And I'm telling you, the book, first of all, it's real well written, which I did say that with the amount of surprise that it came out with. So it's well written, but it's also very inspirational. Because, honestly, if Phil can do it, anyone can do it.
Yeah, good statement. I'll tell you, I read my own book, too. Yeah. Because what I've always said is a short pencil is better than a long memory. So I don't always remember everything that I've said or done, right, but I know where I wrote it down. I wrote it down in my book.
That's great, yeah. And I highly recommend the book.
By the way, I was going to tell you, go into the Addicted to Real Estate book and look for the pictures of the business card. I was telling them about something last night I want to share with them. Right. Little joke.
Okay, this could be interesting.
So let me tell you something about while I was at this meeting last night, I was laying on the group this wholesale deal that I'm involved in right now. Mm-hmm. So it's a property, 249 Hill Avenue in Horsham, right? And I don't know if you remember me talking about this. I've talked about it a little bit at the school. Mm-hmm. This deal.
This was the one with the mayor.
Yeah.
Okay.
The mayor brought me the deal, and basically I agreed to buy it subject to there's $118,000 loan on the property. So I'm using creative financing in conjunction with wholesale deals, which I think is rather unusual. Wholesalers probably don't even think on that level.
Yeah.
And that's really an angle that we should start talking about more at the school, because I see more and more. At first I thought, well, why would you want to use creative financing when you're only going to sell to somebody else anyway? But then it started to occur to me that there's some really wonderful benefits for the partner in the deal, that is the guy who's going to buy it, right? Because he can benefit from it as well. So anyway, I'm talking to the group about it. I'm getting this house. There's a $118,000 loan on the house, and I'm basically buying the house for $118,000. Make a long story short, the actual seller comes back and demands a higher price. So I'm all prepared to negotiate, and they ask for $3,000 more. And I said, may I ask why? Right? It's because her perception is that her refrigerator is worth $3,000. Right? Now, I just bought like a brand new, like reverse osmosis refrigerator, and I mean, it wasn't, Her fridge is worth about $50 to Pico and Pico only.
Yeah, right.
Nobody else would want it. So anyway, the deal kind of went out of contract, and then I got it back under contract. So I'm happy about that. Solved the probate issues, solved the inheritance tax issues, and now I'm ready to rock and roll. So essentially, it's a free house I'm picking up.
That's great. I love those. Subject to, as you know, is my favorite way to buy houses. So I'm going to sit here. I could toot my own horn about the school, but why don't we talk a little bit about what you and I have created together? Even though it's not necessarily like an interview, it's more about what we created together. I love the fact that we've done this and what we're doing and what we're helping people. I mean, you saw Todd Radis was in here just a little while ago.
Yeah.
And he's our star student. And the reason he's our star student, not even that he bought the most houses in the group. It's not even that. It's that he's taken this to such a higher level. What do you think of Todd?
Well, I think the world of him. He's a very impressive guy. And his efforts to do his first Subject 2 deal in 6 weeks after being at the school is pretty quick. Pretty amazing. That's a record that may be very difficult to beat.
I agree.
And then his efforts to buy a mobile home park, when he knew very little about it, was very brave. And frankly, I advised him to buy that park until we found out that the sellers were misrepresenting the true rents and the true expenses.
No, based on the numbers that he gave us, you and I were salivating on that deal. Like, wow, I can't believe we didn't get a deal like this. That's how good that deal was originally.
Well, we definitely had, you and I both had the attitude, like, if he isn't going to buy it, we will.
Right, exactly, until we saw the real numbers. You're right. But at the same time, at least, and the nice part about, too, is that we helped him go through due diligence and make sure that he did it right, and then he knew to back off the deal.
Yeah.
So what can you tell us about some really, give me a favorite real estate deal you've ever done.
Well, how about I just tell you about one that I'm making right now?
Sure.
So you're aware of potential new school location.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So
but let me fill the audience in. So just so you guys know, so we have a school, and I don't know if you heard me say it earlier, but we have a school. We teach people. People come here. They come to class, and we are already. We literally started April 12th, right? And we're already outgrowing the current location, which is fantastic. Although it has a problem, and the problem is, of course, that we now need another location. So Phil's been on the hunt for another location, and he's about to tell us about that location. So I want to fill you guys in. Okay, tell us about the deal.
Right. So I found a building that I could buy. It's a $350,000 building. I pre-negotiated. I looked at the deal about a month ago. I pre-negotiated an arrangement where I would put $100,000 cash down, and it would come with $250,000 worth of financing with a 10-year balloon. So that's what we call seller financing, right? Now I can borrow the $100,000, which I will do. Okay, I could use my own money, but for this scenario, what I'm going to do is I'm going to borrow the $100,000. I already got 2 lenders lined up. One has 60, one has 40. There's your $100,000. I'm borrowing it off of them. I'll have a blended rate that's pretty workable, somewhere around 9%, something like that. And then the payment on the seller financing, pre-negotiated, 0%. So the blended rate, when you count the 60, the 40, and then the 0 for $250,000, it has about a 3%.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, so it's an amazing deal. And in 10 years, we'll owe like almost nothing on the building. So I told you about, I have a business partner in another business I'm in, and that business partner came to look at the building Monday morning, and he just told me today that it's not going to work for him.
Okay.
So now the building is, we should go take a look at it.
Yeah, actually, I actually believe we should. I think we're going to have to. In fact, I see and envision that the place we're sitting in right now, our Facebook Live studio is in, that has a school upstairs, becomes the headquarters with all the people we're going to need to run this business. That's how big it's getting, and we're very happy to see that because not only, and you know what, I got to be honest, it's not, I'm not bragging about the success of us. I'm bragging about how successful we've made our students, and to me, that's key. That is the number one thing that makes me happy about this school. I mean, we got guys like Todd, we got guys like Spencer sitting here, right, Spencer?
Yeah, I've got to say, ever since I've joined, I joined not knowing a single thing about real estate. The amount of terminology and just general knowledge I've obtained just from sitting through these meetings is great.
And you're not even a student that long.
No, I joined, I think, about a month and a half ago.
Wow.
Tell you something funny about him. Like when I first met him, he kept saying he wanted to hang out with me. I'm like, okay, well, just freaking call me, right? What's the
Right.
problem? And then I'm asking him he's asking me every time I see him, hey, when am I going to hang out with you? I said, I called you back. What's the problem? His dad goes, hey, Phil, I don't think you realize he's still in high school.
I know. I thought the same thing. I was like, what? He's in high school? Wait a minute. I forgot myself every time I talked to him that he's in high school. What you need to quit high school.
Yeah.
No. Don't do that. But you can quit high school. You don't quit high school, but you don't necessarily need to go to college. What is your view on going to college?
Oh boy, yeah. I'm reluctant to share with him my feelings on college because his parents may never forgive me.
I know. But I think his parents see that though.
Look, his parents are entrepreneurs too.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
my mother trained me. Okay, when I was a kid, my mother was a great entrepreneur. She ran 3 separate businesses her whole life, but yet she wanted me to go to college. And I'm like, so what is that? Like, do as I say, don't do as I do. I'm watching what you do.
Yeah,
I
right.
see you're making money. We live in a beautiful neighborhood, live in a beautiful house. We have everything we ever wanted, but you want me to go a different path. Why?
Oh, she wants you to be successful.
Well, she
didn't understand that she already was successful and she already had the path for you.
You know, maybe it just has something to do with people who feel that, you know, going to college is like a minimum thing you should do. But in my opinion, it's probably more of a waste of time than it is anything
I agree.
else. And money.
I agree. So we had a couple people shouting out to us. By the way, we got Ken Levitt says hello to both of us. We have a guy named Av who says he's in Brooklyn and he'd like to sit down with you gurus and make real estate happen. We could probably handle that one. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we could make that happen.
And of course, Jabbar's saying hi. Did you watch the Jerry Springer show today?
The Jabbar Springer show?
Yeah, the Jabbar
Yeah.
and Nicole Jerry Springer show.
I watched the recording that Jabbar made for me last night.
You need to watch the Jabbar and Nicole interview. It is the Jerry Springer
Oh, that was
show.
on your show.
Yeah, it's hysterical, but it's just typical Jabbar and Nicole. It's really good. It's actually, you could tell like the way we're friends and we bust each other. You got to listen to these guys. These guys are obviously closer friends than we are.
Cool.
So what's next, Phil?
You know what? Let me share with you one of the deals that I'm working on right now. I think people would find it interesting. Okay?
Sure, yeah, please do.
So I found this Harleysville townhome, and this townhome was built in 2011. So when I first got the call to go look at the thing, I'm checking out the pictures, and boy, it really stood out because it's not generally the kind a townhome built 7 years ago is not generally the kind of houses I'm being called on to go do wholesale deals,
Yeah,
right? The outside of it is pristine. The condo fee covers the exterior. So perfection would be my description of the building from the outside. Inside, however, is a different story. So the person who was living in it, since it was built brand new, she moved into it brand new, lived there the whole time. And the amount of destruction and damage that the bad decisions of this person who was living there did in 7 years is unfathomable. It really is. So first of all, hoarders issue all over the place. Then there was a leak with the heater, which sometimes happens when you buy a new house. You might have a problem with some of the construction, some of the equipment. So you basically fix it and you work it out, or you try to work it out with the builder. Well, for some reason, she got it in her head that fixing it herself would then make it impossible for the builder to fix it. So she decided to just fight with the builder. The fighting with the builder apparently has gone on to present day, 7 years later, not being resolved. All right? I obviously, any normal person would have just gotten it fixed and problem would have been solved. So the heater was leaking. Where was it leaking? I've heard 5 different stories, so I really don't know. Is the heat exchanger leaking? I don't know. Was it the PVC pipe that drains out the condensation? What's that, $5 to fix that, right? I don't know. Was it the condensation pump? There's a $70 item at Home Depot I could get off the shelf and have installed in 10 minutes, right? Instead, what she did was she allowed the heater, air conditioner / heater, to drip all over the ceiling, the sheetrock, the carpets, and destroy essentially a significant part of the sheetrock and the walls, right? Then, now that the heater didn't work, she decided to get a kerosene heater and hook it up to a car battery, something new thing that I've seen in a house. step-toeing around a car battery I could get electrocuted on if I bumped into it. And this kerosene heater delivered a ton of soot into the house. I don't know much about kerosene heaters, but it put this soot all over the house. Got stuck on the walls, which you can't wipe down. You can't just go and vacuum it off. You got to use a special chemical and a hazmat suit, the whole bit, right? So the amount of destruction that happened to this house is just beyond belief. Then they tried to paint over the soot without cleaning it properly.
Oh, boy.
And it's like, so when you look at the house, it looks like a disaster. But in reality, like 15 grand would put this house right back to like brand new construction level. So I went out and wholesaled it, found a buyer. Going to make a nice $12,000 wholesale fee, right? And I'm happy about that. The buyer's thrilled that he's getting a property. Mm-hmm. He's one of our students, and he's going to get a property. He's going to make about $25,000 off of it, and he's happy with that. It's a good little flip for him, and something that he can turn around pretty quick because the comps are strong, right? So where the deal gets interesting is the person I'm buying the house from, this woman, I'm buying it for $153,000. And I know that she's walking with most of that money. And so, of course, one of the things that I do as a wholesaler or as a real estate investor in general is I always say to people, well, if you're selling me this house, where are you going to live? Because I'm a realtor. Maybe I could help them find another house. Maybe I could get an agent that works for me to help them find another house at our new brokerage, Investor Brokerage, right? So there's opportunities to make money. Well, it just so happens that the kind of house she's looking for, I happen to have one in my portfolio that just became vacant.
Good for you.
Right. So and Dimitri, one of our other students, was fixing up the house for me. At the same time all this was going on. So Dimitri delivered me a finished product. I showed her the house. She loves it. And we are going to do a rent-to-own agreement. Awesome. So because she has substantial funds to put down right now, we're doing a $2,000 a month rent with first month's, last month's, and 1 month security and a $44,000 NROC payment, non-refundable option consideration. So I'm getting $12 grand for the wholesale fee. I'm additionally getting a $50,000 payment for this woman to put her in, from this woman to put her in my house, which I just got finished fixing up. So everybody wins. Everybody's happy. She's thrilled. Right now she is living in a kitchen cabinet maker's retail store, and that's not a comfortable scenario for her. So she's absolutely thrilled to death that the sale of this house put money in her pocket, which she was able to exercise as an option with me immediately. So I make a bunch of money, she gets a place to live, and the buyer's thrilled.
Help enough people with help enough people find what they want, and you'll get what you want. That's exactly our philosophy. That's exactly how we feel about it at the school. By the way, Ray Ebert says hi. Hey, Ray.
What's up, Ray? How you doing, buddy?
It's just amazing. I love this kind of stuff. You know, I got a quick trailer I think that I still have up here for the school. I'm going to actually try to play it. Let's see if it works. So you want to tell them how they can come to Investor Schooling, Phil?
How they can come to Investor Schooling?
Yep.
It's easy as pie. You just simply go to investorschooling.com, put your name and email address in, and then we will send you an invitation to come out to the school.
Yeah, in fact, you can come any Thursday night if you'd like. You can come any Thursday night. We will teach you real estate investing. We'll teach you stock options investing, and we will teach you financial literacy. So I got to see the card that you have that you're trying to show everybody, and maybe you can tell the story.
Let me see. Can I hold it up here?
Sure, absolutely.
These are some business cards that I've had in my life.
Executech Suites.
Right, yeah. But the one I was telling Spencer about, I used to use this to meet young ladies in bars, and I was going to advise my 18-year-old friend here.
Oh,
yeah, I'm sort of an advisor, and I'm also kind of like messing them up in the head. But
absolutely,
it's fun for me.
Listen,
right?
Spencer, you just understand that you're going to be like us.
Right.
That mostly it's good.
All right, here it is. This was my business card. It says Phil Falcone, used cars, crack, loans, racing forms, football pools, steroids, atomic weapons, tigers tamed, bars emptied, thumbs broken, orgies organized, virgins converted, revolutions started, assassinations plotted, tables turned, buildings burned, accidents caused, lawsuits created, wives followed, children returned, passports authenticated, and much, much more.
Wait, so this was the card you gave to women when you were in bars?
It was just for a joke, right?
No, it's hysterical. Actually, I think it's brilliant.
Right, so it had my name and my real phone number, and I would just give it out to people, and they would laugh like crazy. And at the end of the night, if I was in a bar, usually the only thing you found on the floor were cigarette butts and my business cards.
With that, say goodbye to everybody. Our time is up. I'm going to bring in a couple of guys, and we're going to be doing some really cool stuff at the school tonight. The people we're bringing in next, we got Ryan Barone and his father to talk about Rent Ready, which is a really cool app. We're going to be talking about that next. And we also have Brent Kessler's another guest coming in today. He's going to talk about Money Multiplier. So if you guys are around, go to investorschooling.com and you can
What's the matter? You didn't like